Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I want to talk about the Tomorrow Show with Tom Schneider and then his interview with Kiss and also with Wendy Williams and the Plasmatics. At least the one, well, they blew up the car because I heard she did. I'd never seen her blow up the car before. And courtesy of YouTube, I got to see it this time. Um, and also talk about why TV stations used to sign off and sign on and sign off from their uh, channels and stuff. And what I talked about in the live, that's what kind of influenced a bunch of stuff I was doing, and Howie Cat sent me. I talked with Howie Cat some about it behind the scenes through email. And I saw, this was on the metal moments and stuff like that, or least metal moments or most metal moments, I can't remember. But they talked about the very first thing, they used to have like three different shows. NBC, they had the Today Show, the morning show. Then they had Tonight Show, and then after that they had the Tomorrow Show. And then Tomorrow Show ended up, they ended up canceling Tomorrow Show, but they still have the Today Show and Tonight Show, and different variations of like Early Today and stuff like that. And they had the band Kiss on there, and I guess both Ace Frehley and Peter Criss were both kind of out of it because they were drunk and stuff like that, and both Gene Simmons and Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley were pretty upset about it. They were on it, but I mean, I thought, and he was laughing his butt off the whole time, just joking around and stuff like that. And Gene Simmons, you see Gene Simmons like get upset. I mean, not the whole through the whole thing, and then a couple times he went like this, like that, like that. He was getting upset. I mean, he wanted to do a serious interview, but I mean, Tom Schneider was. I always liked Tom Schneider. Howard Stern said he's terrible because I mean he went to do. Whenever they had Dave Letterman the show after, I think Craig Kilborn, which I think was it. Was it Tom Schneider had a show right after Dave Letterman, and then it was Craig Kilborn or before? I can't remember. And I was don't really say he was terrible. I always liked Tom Schneider. And I mean, that was the epitome of late night TV, and they had the band Kiss on there, and it was a great interview. It was a lot of fun. But I mean, I think, man, he was goofing around maybe too much. Or saying something Gene had to correct him, like he said, like he was drunk and drugged and stuff. Well, just drunk, not drugged. Because Gene's like big anti-drug. I mean, Gene doesn't drink or do drugs at all. He said that for a long time. He still doesn't. But I mean, they were both upset. And then like he had like Ace Frehley had a teddy bear. I guess Tom Schneider had a teddy, and then he put like some of his costume on and stuff like that. And then I heard Paul say put the bear down. But I mean, it was a pretty earnest interview, and it was very strange because at the very beginning, Tom Schneider was reading off cue cards. I mean, and then he said Gene Simmons, you're the bass player instead of bass player. That was a little bit weird. I mean, and then he went Gene to Ace Frehley, and Ace Frehley said he plays the trout, and I thought that was funny, just silly humor. Because I remember in the old days of my channel, the first big following I had, well, aside from Bunsen and Tim Sands and Franz Zoom, so I know what happened to him the summer 2013. But I had like a following of Irish teenagers, including one guy. I mean, they had a channel and he did a video like he started rapping in the middle of class and filming it and stuff. I don't know why he took all that stuff down. And then one guy he became friend with. His name was Bassfass. Yeah, I always said Bass Fast, and he said no, it's meant to be Bass Face. If it's Bass Face, why don't you spell Basefase or Face? And I would have known instead of Bass. It said Bassfas, so I said Bass Fast. And he went on with this one guy to do some very well-made guitar playing videos that I really enjoyed every Sunday. That was a big part of my Sunday watching them. And then after that, I mean, you didn't hear from him anymore. I don't know what happened to him. No, it doesn't mean the video's over with. That's air fryer. I'm gonna make the The meal I'm making right now will probably be the main meal for the night. Right now, in the air for a late night Saturday night, or and go to bed and stuff like that. No, but he said, he said, oh, I'll start calling myself Bass Fest. And you said, no, I didn't know it meant base. Why didn't you say just about BASE? I mean, yeah, BASEFASE if you want, or FACE. And he even did a song dedicated to me. I don't know what happened about me blowing up school buses and stuff like that. I was, it's kind of funny. That's not funny. But the song was kind of funny. But I don't know. He just he stopped doing videos, and then he took them all down. Then he did like one or two other videos, and he took it down, made it, and turned off comments or something like that. And that one guy, Crazy Cummings Convo, that's what his original name was. He changed it. He said guys going through some stuff, and then I didn't hear from anybody of those guys anymore. The one Filmer Rager or something I still hear from them somewhat, but I mean, no one comments. And then I think whenever I started doing the food reviews, this is back when I was doing random stuff. When I first started doing food reviews, eventually I think they started losing interest. I guess I don't know, but that's how I gained my identity on Facebook, on YouTube, and gradually, it took a long time getting subscribers. Because I was it took a month before I even had one. At least that's what I thought. But before that, it was Bunsen's and Franz Zooms. I don't know what happened to him. And Tim Sands. I don't know where he's at either. I don't know where Bunsen's at either. But I mean, that's how it first started out. And the Tom Schneider thing was great. I love that Kiss interview. It was a lot of fun. 10 out of 10 on that. And then I talk about Wendy Williams and the Plasmatics. I guess they were on there. They blew up a TV and they changed a guitar in half. Now, I'll tell you what. I mean, with Wendy Williams, I saw the Mohawk. And the other guy had a mohawk and stuff like that. So I really thought it was punk, but she calls herself the High Priestess of Metal. So, I mean, maybe it's more metal than punk. I don't know. Or a mixture of both. It's in the same genre of rock and roll. And I watched that. I didn't see the first episode. I guess see if I can find the first one. She chainsaws the guitar, which she did on Solid Gold. One of them. Well, I'm surprised she was on Solid Gold. I mean, she did really well for herself. A metal act, and metal was not popular back then. On so many TV shows, you got not Saturday Night Live, but Tomorrow Show, not the Tonight Show. I think the first metal act on Tonight Show was Motorhead. That one until '89. Then they had Slayer years later. A couple years ago, Jimmy Fallon, network debut, which is sad. I think it was her network debut, or was that? I can't remember. There's so much going on. But I mean, she was on a lot of TV shows. She was on Fridays, SCTV. I remember the fishing musician, John Candy, she did that song. And when she smashed that TV with the sledgehammer, John Candy was legitimately scared. I remember that. And the Tom Schneider interview was really fun. I think they both had a good time. And she's a delightful person. And very smart. I mean, I saw some other interviews with her, and then on the afternoon show, whatever it was, in '87, because I was in the Army at that time. It seemed like the two people who interviewed her, like a man and woman, were very kind of condescending to her. And no, I really enjoyed that show. I just don't know why she killed herself. I mean, maybe just depression or something like that, but she always seemed so happy. That's how I found out about through the band Necrophagia, Killjoy, put in a liner note for Holocaust de la Morte. When they did their comeback album, that I end up meeting Steph Opel, which was Philip Samos from Pantera's ex-wife, through YouTube, because when Killjoy passed away, I did a video and she found out about me that way, and we became friends. I would love to have her as a guest on my lives, but I don't know where she's even at now. I mean, she tried to do some lives, and then they're all taken down for this year. I don't know what's going on. No, but the Wendy Williams thing was very entertaining. I really enjoyed it. I got to see her, like I said, blow up the car finally. And I mean, I got to see the earlier one she was on though. But I was the only one in school that liked the Plasmatics. Everyone else hated them. And the only stuff I bought, I remember I bought in I had a Walkman, so I bought mostly cassettes until I started getting DVDs eventually when I got, one guy gave me his stereo. It had a DVD, I mean, not a DVD, a CD player. I started getting CDs maybe in 89, but it was all cassettes until then. I had a Walkman, and the only thing Wendy Williams I got the Gene Simmons produced Wow album. Wendy Williams just said Wow, Commander of Chaos, and I got the Maggots album, that Plasmatics 10th anniversary or something like that, and that was a fun album. A little bit gross in some parts. I mean, just the visualization of some of the stuff going was kind of gross, but I mean, it's all meant as a joke, but I have to listen to that album again. I used to play it all the time in AIT. And then I remember when I got a DVD player, I remember buying, the only DVD I ever bought from KTEL was the Live in London to Wendy Williams. And she was like doing just the whole metal, and then she'd like carry a guy on her shoulders and stuff like that, It was cool. I mean, when I see one, I just maybe be kind of intimidated because I'm afraid I interview and I say the wrong thing. You don't want to make her mad. Just like I had a little bit of conflict on my live Thursday night between Tagger and Foster Hike and myself. We were talking about comic books, and she didn't like that, and I didn't want to hurt. I didn't want to hurt Tagger. I didn't want to leave or anything like that because I really care about her. I love her very much, and I didn't want to upset Howie Cat or Froster, was very new on the channel. I mean, I care about them a lot too. I don't want to lose their friendship or anything like that. And it was just weird. She ended up, Howie Cat ended up leaving, and then she left like about 5 seconds after, and Howie Cat came back. So, but then I told Tag, I said, I'm sorry. She said, it's okay, silly. She's just saying, she still loves me. I said, well, that's cool. I don't want to hurt nobody. I want to make everyone happy. You can't make everybody happy, but I tried. Oh. And then, so I give that a 10 out of 10. It was a lot of fun, Tom Schneider and stuff. And then she got an interview on Joan Rivers, too. She made a lot of the rounds and stuff like that. A lot of other metal acts don't make anything. I mean, she must have had some really good management or something like that at the time. Now, I want to talk about something that used to happen, like TV stations signing off and then signing back on, usually late at night. And this is the reason right here, because I never truly knew what the reason was. It says up through the late 1990s. I don't remember it being that late, though, but it said, like, the FCC required that radio and television stations have a human operator on duty to run the transmitter and maintain a log of its operations. For commercial stations, that meant they had to pay somebody to do this job. For university and similar volunteer stations, that meant finding night owls or insomniacs who could be trusted to be the long person in the studio in the wee hours. So we had, whenever we started Fox 66, it used to be just a station, a UHF station, Gain University, and it would sign on at 3:30 in the afternoon and have like David and Goliath on it, and then they have some other shows on it. It'd have a movie, and then it would have at 8 o'clock or 9, it'd have a movie, and then it'd have an episode of Bonanza on it. I think it would sign off either 11 or 12 o'clock. So it wasn't on that long. And it said, like, the history of listening and watching and then sometime around 1997, the FCC rules changed to allow computer automation of the transmitter operation and logging, and made it possible to legally run radio and television stations unattended. Additionally, the economics of broadcast programming have changed in a way that makes 24-hour operation more attractive. Television stations have found it profitable to sell their airtime during the overnight hours on the radio. That's why I thought, like, the infomercials. You see so many infomercials right there. Number of syndicated late-night shows or such Red Eye Radio, Coast to Coast AM, Art Bell, and like to allow radio stations to reach a nighttime audience using something that's best suited that time of day. But I don't remember it being all the way to 1997 because we were having 24-hour programming before then. Got to mention the advert of the emergency alert system around 1997. For systems, same use the emergency broadcast system required an operator. This is because the EBS tones transmitted by primary stereo would trigger EBS see the other area radio and TV station, but an operator would have to listen to the UBS announcer to determine if the activator was a test or a real emergency. In the event of a real emergency, the primary station's audio had to be rebroadcast live. The emergency alert system, on the other hand, contains data bursts that tell EAS receivers whether or not they have to interrupt program to rebroadcast EAS audio. No humans are needed, at least at station. They're not the primary station. That's like I'm reading it off a thing so I don't mess anything up. I screenshot that. I was reading it. But growing up as a kid, I remember the sign off. I mean, they used to. I mean, there's Canadian stations were like that too, or like Canadian state would say this one would sign on and say Peninsula, which I thought was really funny. I remember real young as a kid. Well, of course, I would be real young as a kid. The NBC affiliate Channel 12 would have like the sign on in the morning would be all these guys. They have like a chorus of these guys, and they'd be singing. I think that's the way they end the broadcast too. And they'd say when they end the broadcast, they'd have like a big thing saying this channel, all the megahertz and stuff like that. It would say good night and good morning, and then would have the national anthem, you know, and then would sign off. And then I know Channel 12 got a little more fancy. At the end, they had the one that the Air Force put out at their sign off. But I mean, after a while, the station started experimenting with 24-hour stuff. I remember Channel 24 had Just Right for Late Night Horror Show. And it started at midnight. It was a perfect lineup. 11 o'clock, you had the news. Action News 24. 11:30 is Benny Hill. Right at midnight, Late Great Horror Show. One commercial interruption sponsored by Pizza Hut. And then they have like Buck Rogers. And then they have the second movie. We had regular commercial things. And then they have Cluck Rogers show like a rubber chicken and stuff like that. That was really funny. That's back when they spent more money on the show. And then they had, it was off for a while. And then it came back Just Right for Late Night Show, which was very cheaply done. It wasn't anywhere near as good. And then when they had Elvira, it would just be the news. Then Elvira would come on at 11:30, and then at 1:30 they'd have Night Rocks, which would be a half-hour music show hosted by Jim Cook, who hosted the horror show. And then it would only be on for an hour, half hour, and then they'd sign off. And NBC used to do that, and then they started on the NBC channel. On Saturday night, they started having all-night movies. So they have movies on all night, which was cool. And then for the major stations, eventually NBC wanted to have like all-night news with Linda Ellerby on there, you know, which was interesting. Then the NBC station had Night Rocks, but it was all night long, all night. But I mean, it would be an all night long. They called it Night Rocks instead of, was it Jet Rock, Video Rocks, or Night Rocks? And it was like all night long. I remember getting up early before school because between 5 and 6 o'clock, and they started at 6 o'clock, they would play like metal songs. And they'd play like Dokken, or they'd play like Halloween, the full 13-minute version of the Halloween song, which was really cool. And stuff like that. And then I remember I mean, that was pretty much the end of sign off, except for Fox 66. Well, again in 66, before it became Fox 66. And then they had something like some home shopping network when I was in Fort Bragg. And then they said use Tootie or something like that. I remember watching it a little bit, and then at 6 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning, they have American Gladiators on. And at 7 o'clock, they have the Dracula show, that Wonder Woman was talking about. But that's why studios would sign off. And they would have the test pattern. I think they'd just go dark. And some place would have a test pattern. They used to have the one with the Indian on it, you know. But that's why TV stations used to sign off and sign on, sign off. I hope the Frost to see this video. So I hope you like this video, talking about Tom Schneider in the Kiss interview. The second Plasmatic interview that he did, hopefully I see the first one. But like I said, none of the kids liked the Plasmatic. I was the only one. No one ever talked about him. Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. I remember in 7th grade, Industrial Arts, Mr. Lucas, we had a thing where we were making our own t-shirts. I don't know what the guy did. You have to put a design in there. And there was like this black stuff that he put in, and you'd make your own t-shirt. Some were better than I did. I did. Like a thing of tray with the X-Acto knife. I remember Bruce Cyclowski did the British Steel album with a radio, and that looked really cool. Mine was the Plasmatics or #1. I had that on the shirt, and I was wearing. I remember show you how horrible my mom was, because she's nuts. She is crazy, high on drugs and everything. I had the Plasmatic shirts on. She's like, and she saw it. She goes, "I hate that shirt." She went over me. She ended up ripping it off my chest. It took her forever to do it. And I looked at Dad, and my dad's like, "Don't you hurt your mother? Don't you hurt your mother? What's she doing to me? Stop her!" And then I talked to him about it later. And said, I didn't want her to leave. She's nuts. Shit I had to put up with growing up. Well, I hope you like this video. I didn't mean to end it so dark. But I might as well tell you about what's going on, you know. So I hope you like this video. Bye. Till next time, please. Take care, my legion. I hope you watch this, Froster. Because you were asking about, you know, TV stations signing on and signing off. But I remember when they were experimenting with Leonard Ellerby having all-night news. And this was like, I mean, they'd have like, well, it used to be like the local news. And then they'd have the Tonight Show on. And then usually at the time, the Tonight Show would be on for 90 minutes. And then at 1 o'clock would be the Tomorrow Show for an hour. And at 12 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, they'd sign off. And then sometimes they would have, I remember they used to have, when Wimbledon was on, they would change the program. After the news, they'd have like a 15-minute Wimbledon update for like 2 weeks. So the program would go another 15 minutes before they signed off. But that's how it was. Usually they'd be off for like 4 hours and they signed back on. Because I remember getting up for school, and on NBC, you used to have Newzoo Review, where they have like All in the Family. And then sometimes they'd have like a local news report on Channel 35. I try to watch that 6:30, and they would always screw up. So I usually see them screw up and laugh. You know, it was really funny. So I hope you liked this video. Bye. Till next time, please. Like I said, take care, my legion.